In our morning rounds, how where you live affects your odds of surviving cancer. New government data shows people in the South have the highest risk of dying from cancer. Kentucky ranks #1. The lowest mortality rate is in Utah. Lung cancer is the leading cause of death from the disease in 45 of 50 states. The good news, the government says overall the number of people surviving cancer is rising. That trend is expected to continue for the next decade. Our Dr. David Agus leads the Westside Cancer Center at the University of Southern California. David, good morning. So this data shows not just who's getting cancer, but who's surviving cancer. What does it tell us?
Well, you know, the South, it's a perfect storm. Many more smokers, they're obese, they're sedentary, and there's more poverty. You
Just
put them all together, you're going to live, well, just the incidence of it, yes, generally speaking. But the incidence is higher, and so all of a sudden they come together and the death rate of cancer is very different from other states. And so what we need to do is take aware of that and start to act on that. You know, tobacco is still being used in many states at a very high level, and that's got to stop.
Where are we with respect to all these new therapies that have somehow shown some success for some people in terms of at least delaying the ultimate end?
So the big cancer meetings were in Chicago a week ago, and two major trends came out of them. One is what we call molecularly targeted therapies. It's identifying the on switch in the cancer and taking a pill that turns it off. And that buys time, and they work, and there are dozens of these treatments now on the market. The second is what we call immunotherapy, which is this remarkable new kind of treatment that takes the brake off the immune system so you can start to attack cancer. It's FDA approved in kidney cancer and skin cancer, melanoma. But all of a sudden this last week, we saw data in head and neck cancer, other kinds of lung cancer, liver cancer, colon cancer, and it buys time. And when it works, it's dramatic.
How often does it work?
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem, is that these molecularly targeted therapies and immunotherapies work in about 20 to 30% of patients and buy time, which is fantastic and much better than we were several years ago, but still 70 to 80% of patients it doesn't work in. And in those patients, they're just staring at an end that isn't good, and we need to change how we're dealing with this war on cancer. We've made this much progress, we need a lot more, and that has to happen.
How much time does it buy and how much does it cost?
Well, that's a key question, is that it buys, you know, the molecular targeted therapies can buy weeks to months. The immunotherapy may buy a year or two, but the costs are tremendous. You make a new drug to treat cancer, you charge whatever you want. It's a monopoly. And so these drugs cost $100,000 to $150,000 a year, and it's not sustainable. And that is an issue that we need to take head on. When you make a drug, whether it's good or bad, you charge the same, and you just keep charging more. And in today's world, we need to bring in value. And we need to say, you have a monopoly, so you can't charge whatever you want, but at the same time, you need to be incentivized to create drugs. And so we need to put the two of them in line so we can all benefit and we get new drugs.
You do get the impression that we reached an inflection point and things are moving very fast.
Yeah. It's literally, you know, overnight, is that we used to have 5, 6 new drugs a year for all diseases. Now it's dozens. So technology has caused that progress curve to go like this. And so we need to respond by appropriate pricing. We need to respond by learning how to use them, retraining the medical students today with all these new technologies, and at the same time giving hope to patients that we can make an impact on these horrible diseases.
Thank you, David Agus.